In Commitment 2020, California's political world is abuzz with speculation that Joe Biden is about to pick either Senator Kamala Harris or Congresswoman Karen Bass as his running mate. KCRA 3 political analyst and senior vice president of Randall Communications, Kevin Riggs, joins us for the Riggs Report. So, Kevin, who's the most likely pick here?
Well, you know, Tony, despite all that buzz, it might not be a Californian after all. Joe Biden could throw a curve and pick someone like former National Security Advisor Susan Rice or Florida Congresswoman Val Demings, both of whom remain on the short list. But if it is a Californian, I think the odds seem to still be in favor of Kamala Harris. Harris's allies have been pushing hard, saying that she has proven herself to be a very effective campaigner coming from her presidential campaign last year. Of course, you'll recall that campaign by Harris folded in December due to lack of funding and poor polling numbers before any of the primary votes were held. As for Karen Bass, the former Assembly Speaker, she's not out of the running, but I get the sense that her prospects have been dimming in recent days after news reports that years ago she uttered words of praise for former Cuba leader Fidel Castro and also for the Church of Scientology. Of course, those comments about Castro would be a particular problem for the Democrats in the swing state of Florida.
So, Kevin, if Biden picks Harris and they win the election, what kind of musical chairs would that create here in California?
Well, it certainly would create a big game of musical chairs. If that were to happen, then Harris's U.S. Senate seat would obviously become vacant, and that would give Governor Newsom the opportunity then to fill that position with an appointment. Obviously, there'd be a lot of people lining up for that term, which expires in 2022. If the governor were to appoint a sitting politician, like a member of Congress or a state constitutional officer, then that seat in turn would become vacant and would have to be filled by a special election. And in the most unlikely scenario, the governor himself could always appoint himself to fill Harris's term in the U.S. Senate. If that were the case, then the governorship would become vacant until it were filled by a special election.
Do you think Governor Newsom would be tempted to appoint himself to the Senate?
Well, you know, Tony, all governors, especially governors of large states like California, harbor presidential ambitions, and certainly Gavin Newsom is no different about that. But in modern times, at least, more governors have been elected as president than members of the U.S. Senate. So Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, all recent examples. So the governorship, frankly, would be a better platform from which to launch a White House bid than to be one of 100 U.S. senators. By the way, the last time that California had a vacancy in the U.S. Senate that had to be filled by appointment, 30 years ago. Pete Wilson was elected governor. He still had time left on his U.S. Senate term, and he appointed John Seymour to fill out that term 30 years ago, 1990.
Interesting. It's been a while. All right, Kevin, thank you so much. We appreciate it. And Kevin does write a political blog. You can read it on the KCRA 3 News app every Thursday.